Hey guys, it's Andy here, and we're back looking at brews in Standard. This is a Teysa Afterlife deck that I put together for you guys. Basically an Orzhov token deck. I'm just going to touch on the main board here, talk about the sideboard, interactions between, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. So to start off the lineup, we're running a 4 of Seraph of Scales, or Seraph of the Scales, which is for 4, 2, a white and a black. It's a 4/3 Flying Angel with pay 1 white, gain Vigilance until end of turn, pay 1 black to gain Death Strike until end of turn, and Afterlife 2. So Afterlife is the new mechanic that's come out with Ravnica Allegiance. So Afterlife 2 is when this creature dies, you create 2 1/1 white and black spirit creature tokens with flying. Insanely good card. Imperious Obligarch is for 2, so white and black. It's a 2/1 human cleric with vigilance, and also has Afterlife 1. So when it dies, you only get 1 1/1 white black spirit. A 4 of Tithe Taker, which is 1 and a white. It's a 2/1 human soldier with during your turn, spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast, and abilities your opponents activate cost 1 more to cast, unless they're mana abilities. Also has Afterlife 1. Namesake, and the reason we put this deck together, Teysa Karlov in a 3 of, which is for 4, 2, a white and a black. It's a 2/4 legendary creature human advisor with if a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Creature tokens you control have Vigilance and Lifelink. So all of our Afterlife triggers happen twice, or just any death triggers happen twice, and all of our tokens gain Vigilance and Lifelink. Insanely cool. Doubling up on the Afterlife triggers is good enough, with us getting 4 from the Seraphim Scale of Dying, Imperious Obligarch getting 2 tokens from that. But where it really gets insane is with the next couple of creatures. So we're also running a 2 of Alenda the Dusk Rose, which is for 4, 2, a white and a black. It's a 1/1 legendary creature vampire knight with lifelink. And then whenever another creature dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on Alenda the Dusk Rose. When Alenda dies, you create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Alenda's power. So every time a creature dies, she gets 2 +1 counters, and when she dies, you get 2 times X. Insanely cool. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I've playtested this deck a couple of times, and it's really, really strong. But Alenda is just an all-star in this deck when she gets to go off, because it doesn't matter what creature's dying, as long as it's not her. It's whenever another creature dies, she's getting 2 counters if you've got Teysa out. It's great. And we're also running a 2 of just a and just to round out the creatures, we're running a 2 of Midnight Reaper, which is for 3, so 2 and a black. It's a 3/2 zombie knight with whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you, and you draw a card. So obviously taking 2 damage isn't great if we've got Teysa out, but drawing 2 cards is awesome. Insanely good. Touching on the spells, we're running a 2 of Revival to Revenge. So Revival is for hybrid black-white, so 2 cost, for hybrid black-white, so you can play either 2 white, 2 black, or 1 of each. At sorcery speed, you return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. In this deck, it's only ever going to be the Midnight Reaper, the Tithe Taker, or the Imperious Obligarch, but that's still really relevant, just being able to get a creature back from our grave. But the real reason this is in the deck is for the Revenge side, which is for 6, so 4, a white, and a black. At sorcery speed, you double your life total, and target opponent loses half their life, rounded up. So doubling our life total and halving theirs is insanely strong. It's a great card. 4 of Mortify, which is a great reprint that we've had with Ravnica Allegiance. So Mortify is for 3, 1, a white and a black. At instant speed, you destroy target creature or enchantment. And there is a surprisingly large amount of really good enchantments in the current standard at the moment, so even the enchantment side of it is really relevant. But instant speed creature removal at a 3 cost, it's still really good. 3 copies of Final Payment, which is for 2, white and black. At instant speed, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you can either pay 5 life, or sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Destroy target creature. So a lot of the times we're going to have expendable creatures or tokens that we can just sacrifice, or we can just pay the life if we want to keep our creatures. But if we've got Teysa out, this can be another way that we can sacrifice creatures willingly. If a board full of 1/1 flyers is better to us than a 4/3, or if we have an Alenda out but they won't let her die, we can kill her ourselves, and it's just really good. Another card that's been added to the kind of build around, focusing heavily on the fact that where the Afterlife tokens are multicolored, is the Glass of the Guildpact, which is a 2-cost artifact that sits on the battlefield and gives multicolored creatures you control +1/+1. Now, the biggest mistake that Wizards could have made is not making this legendary, because now we can have 3 of them out at the same time, and all of our tokens are getting +1/+1 for each one of these we have out. And going over the Teysa double triggers off the Afterlife, it's going to be a lot. All but 6 of our creatures themselves are dual colored, so Seraph will be for 4 a 5/4, Imperious will be a 3/2 Vigilance, Teysa herself becomes a 3/5, Elenda becomes a 2/2 with lifelink straight off the bat. It's just insanely good. It does a whole lot more than you'd think it would, and it's definitely worth having the 3 of in the deck. Because we are running white and the land base is fairly good, Settle the Wreckage, another great card against aggro. For 4, 2 and 2 white, at instant speed, you exile all attacking creatures target player controls, and that player may search his or her library for that many basic land cards, put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle his or her library. With the amount of token generation that we have in this deck, we can also use this to ramp ourselves into playing Revenge, if we want. It's just another thing that actually did happen to me in a game, and it worked out really well. 2 copies of Kaya's Wrath, which is an awesome board wipe that's coming out in the new set. It's for 4, so 2 white and 2 black. At sorcery speed, you destroy all creatures, and then you gain life equal to the number of creatures you controlled that were destroyed this way. The best thing about this is the fact that Afterlife is going to give us another board full of tokens after we've just wiped away everything else. Insanely cool. It's a great card. 2 copies of Vraska's Contempt, because we're running black and it's one of the best removal pieces in Standard at the moment. So it's for 4, 2 and 2 black at instant speed. You exile target creature or planeswalker and you gain 2 life. 2 copies of Cast Down, which is for 2, 1 and a black. At instant speed, you destroy target non-legendary creature. Surprisingly, hugely effective. At a 2-cost removal, being able to hit pretty much anything. There isn't always going to be legendary creatures in their decks, and you're guaranteed to find, if they're running creatures at all, there's going to be a creature that is worth using this on. It's just great. It's just insanely good removal. Touching on the land base, we're running 5 swamps, 5 plains, 4 Isolated Chapel, which comes in tapped unless you control a plains or swamp, tap for white or black. 4 Gordless Shrine, which is a plains swamp that comes in tapped unless you pay 2 life. And a couple of copies of Field of Ruin, which has 2 tap, sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land card an opponent controls. Each player searches his or her library for a basic land card and puts it onto the battlefield, then shuffles his or her library. And it's also got tap for colorless. Touching over the sideboard here, a little bit more removal in the form of 2 Cast Downs, 3 copies of Moment's Craving, which is for 2, 1 and a black at instant speed. Target creature gets -2/-2 until in a turn. You gain 2 life. Sorcerer's Spyglass for the Planeswalker matchups. So it's a 2-cost artifact that sits on the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, you look at target opponent's hand, then choose any card name. Activated abilities of the sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So it just completely shuts down Planeswalkers, which is great. A single copy of Argyl's Bloodfast in here, just for the draw card in the control matchups. So Argyl's Bloodfast is for 2, 1 and a black. It's a legendary enchantment that sits on the battlefield, and it's got pay 2, 1 and a black, and pay 2 life to draw a card. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform Argyl's Bloodfast. And then it turns into Temple of Aklazot, which is a legendary land, and it's got tap for black, or tap sacrifice a creature, you gain life equal to the sacrifice creature's toughness. Adding more to the removal, another 2 copies of Vraska's Contempt. 2 Cleansing Novas, which is for 5, 3 and 2 white. At sorcery speed, you choose one. Destroy all creatures, or destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Depending on your matchup, that can be really relevant. And for the graveyard matchups, 2 Sentinel Totems, which is for 1, it's an artifact that sits on the battlefield. And then it's got tap, exile Sentinel Totem to exile all cards from all graveyards. With the amount of token generation in this deck, removal in the deck, value in the deck, I've been having a hell of a lot of fun playing this. I hope you guys do too. This is Teysa Afterlife. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to see new videos as they were released. If you like what I do and you want to support the channel, you can throw me $1 on my Patreon at patreon.com/SandersQuest. And I will see you guys in the next video. Keep questing, guys.